For the latest news, noteworthy trends, and thought provoking discussions across the industry. From hotels to short term rentals to all things travel and hospitality, you'll find each episode equips you with the information that you need to start your week. Join us on Good Morning Hospitality every Wednesday, wherever you get your podcasts. Well, we made it.
All right.
Oh,
We are live.
that is a very good morning to everybody
Yes.
in the hospitality industry. Appreciate it. For those that are following along and we're like, hey, what's going on? TikTok. We were having some technical issues in the background, but here we are, 12 minutes after the hour.
Yeah,
Still fresh as a daisy.
we made it. It was all this time change, and we're all in different time
Time
zones.
zones. Yep.
And a big shout out to Will Slickers for getting it all fixed up.
Thank you,
And
Will.
now I'm the captain of the ship. I'm actually running and producing here. So let's see if I mess anything up.
No, please. Yeah. So we should go ahead and talk about where we are because for those that might be that are watching, yes, I'm actually in a different place. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia right now. Dirty South, ATL, all of the above. What?
And you're having a lot of fun there. You're celebrating someone's birthday. So that's
Yes.
awesome to see.
I am here celebrating somebody's birthday and I'm in somebody else's home office right now. So hence a little bit of a different look, but this is
Well,
what
you
we do.
made it. We made it, and we're here for all of you watching. And if you're watching, we'd love to see where you're watching from.
Yeah.
Always give that
Let us
roll call.
know.
We love seeing it. And for me, I'm here in Miami, but started the 50 hotel and 50-day
Okay.
challenge.
Yes.
Mhm.
We have got to talk about this because
I'm
this is
very excited about this. So it came
totally.
along. I was watching YouTube with my kids. They watched this like a bunch of different YouTubers, and one of them inspired me. This guy Ryan Trahan, who's got like
Uh-huh.
30 million followers. Never heard of him, but he does these cool kind of challenges with his iPhone and like a basic camera,
Yeah.
and just goes out and makes it happen. I said, you know what? I want to
I'm
go
gonna
do
do
something
this.
fun, and this is the one that I decided to do. And so we've already been to 4 hotels in 2 days. So we're gonna be highlighting one unique thing
Ooh.
that is happening at each of these hotels, service or item. Have
Okay.
to go in unannounced. So I'm not scheduling this. That was one of the requests by a lot of people who voted. Can't be,
Mhm. Not
staged.
scheduled. Do you
And
have a plan? Do you have it built out? Like you think you're gonna go through
I
XYZ?
have the 50 hotels listed,
Okay. Good.
and I've
Don't need to share them. That's fine.
checking them off one by one. I went to one of them though, and
Yeah.
they kicked me out. The security stopped me from filming, and I was
You know,
shocked. I don't have a big camera. It's just like my phone.
no, totally. It's so funny because we were talking about this backstage, but first of all, like that's a hotel doing their job. So
Yeah,
that's
great job to the security officer. He was given that task. He caught me in
totally.
the first 3
to-
minutes.
But then we were also talking about how like so many times like you can go and you're doing something and you're just totally left alone. But the one time that you go in with a mission, of
Yeah.
course, that's the day that security is paying attention.
I think I looked too official. Like maybe I was just like, oh, he's already just like walking in and filming stuff. So I'm gonna be a little bit more, I'm gonna downplay it a little bit. So we'll be
Mhm.
doing it. Oh, we got
No.
Jeremy Weiss. Did you guys start
Jeremy.
early?
No.
So we don't know how to work clocks. We don't know how to work technology
We
here.
did not start early. Time has changed.
And we
Didn't
have
we
people in different time zones where they didn't change the time. And LinkedIn had it set at a different time. So we're
but
here.
we are at the time that we are supposed to be at after is it after daylight savings? Is that what it is?
Yeah, we're after. Yeah.
Are we after? I don't know when they do that, but
Yeah.
the clocks change. So welcome.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Apologies.
Yes, thank you for being here. But so anyway, 50 days, 50 hotels.
I
The
love
journey
this.
has started. I'm excited, and we'll total it all up. So they're like minute and a half to 2-minute bite-sized
Amazing.
episodes,
It's
one
so awesome.
unique thing. And it's gonna be hard because some of these hotels you think like, all right, they don't really have anything that stands out, but I'm gonna force myself to find one unique thing.
Oh
Each
my God.
one.
I thought you were going to say some of these hotels have so many
They
things to
have so many things. That's the other thing
oh,
too. Like there's some
some have
hotels
so
that have
many. Yeah.
bowling alleys and ice skating rinks and
Yep.
basketball courts and
And
all
those
these
are the
things.
given.
Right. So how can I find something different? Maybe I include
True.
those. We'll see.
True.
But
True.
thank you for following along, and you can follow on the Hospitality Mentor on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I'd love to be able to see you guys interacting.
I think it is so awesome that you are doing this, by the way. When I saw you post about it, I was so excited for you. So shout out. I love that you're doing this. This
Thank
is
you very much, and
great.
you help inspire me with a lot of our talks.
Yeah.
You know what people are doing. I was like, I don't know. I want to see this, so no one's doing it.
Yeah.
Let me go do it.
And you know what? I love that it's always great to do a fun challenge like this as well because it gets you've got a goal, and it just it creates a bit of excitement for you even as a creator to go, okay, we have this mission.
Get it accomplished. But I gotta make sure I'm not hungry when I go. I was getting a little hangry towards the end of the 4th one. Something wasn't working right in the hotel, and I felt myself being annoyed with, "What am I
Ooh.
doing here? What am I doing?" I'm gonna continue
Ooh.
on because people like Jeremy
Ooh.
are watching and commenting, so I love it.
Do not get hangry. So, by the way, anybody that is tuning in with us right now, I know that something was off. Maybe the timing is funny, or even the LinkedIn link might be funny. But if you are, tell us where you're joining from. We'd love to hear. But why don't we go ahead and dive into some of our topics today because we've got a lot of good ones. So,
Yes, let's do it.
um, and we want to be mindful for the time. Okay, so all right. Starting off with some hotel topics. Love what's going on this with Hyatt Regency. They check in and work out. Hyatt Regency is now debuting a new collaboration with a personal training platform called Future to enhance guest well-being. And so, for those that basically don't know, I mean, Future is its own platform in and of itself. You can actually get a 1 month like you can get monthly memberships with it, and it's about 199 a month. Now, Hyatt Regency in particular is launching this partnership with Future at 26 of their hotels around the US. And for if you happen to be staying at the hotel and you log on or experience the Future workout, you will actually get a month of a free membership, which I thought was really cool. I love how
Yeah.
they're thinking outside the box with that.
No, I really like it, and, I like what Hyatt's doing a lot recently. I was never a huge Hyatt fan in the past, but now I've been meeting so many of the leaders and seeing what they're doing, and they're just trying to always push the ball on what they're doing health-wise and sustainability-wise, so I
Totally.
really like this. I wish it was something in person too, like a kinda like a
Yeah.
hybrid thing, because sometimes it's hard to get on an app or get on the iPad or on the TV.
But it's also hard to do that because it's like, what are you gonna do? Have trainers in these 26 hotels? That's
Yeah.
26 trainers. Is it every day? Is it like part of the day? How are they so, I mean, I get it, but I do like the thinking outside of the box with it, and as you said, I mean, it's there look, go Hyatt. You are, like, forging your own path in all of this, which is
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah, I like to see how it goes because for big time like Peloton was big for a while, like people were traveling to hotels because they
Yeah.
had Pelotons during the pandemic and
Yeah.
after. And even
Still,
my wife is still the same way, like, they have a
still.
Peloton bike there. So I haven't heard of Future until now, so that's good for Future that they got
Mhm.
this shout out. I checked them
Oh,
out. It was
totally.
really
That's
interesting.
actually a great example. I love that you said that. What a great example, because I personally had, and I'm a workout fiend, but I had not heard of Future. Um, so this really helped put them on the map as well too. So
Yeah, I
this
think
is
I love seeing these things. That's why I think that brands like this should really tap into hotels, whether you're
yeah,
consumer any kind of consumer brand. You
yeah.
wanna get in front of your potential clients, and these are good ways, whether it's clothing or apps or, plateware or dishware, like, whatever it might be, or fashion. I love seeing
So
those
so
collaborations.
long as you have a consistent product and you can deliver at scale, whatever that is,
Mhm.
that's definitely the way to go. Totally the way to go. All
Yeah.
right. Let's keep it rolling. Okay, we talked about this a little bit ago, but there's been updates. So for everybody that might be remembering, Choice was trying to do a hostile takeover of Wyndham. I
Mhm.
still think it's hilarious that these are what the headlines are. That Choice is going to
Yeah,
do a hostile takeover. I'm like, everybody, calm down. Like,
and battle it out. Their stock prices.
no. So, for those that have been paying attention to that, Choice has now terminated their hostile takeover of Wyndham. Basically what they ended up realizing is that they weren't getting enough support. Um, and at that point they were just like, okay, we have to take a step back. But
Mhm.
what were you seeing in regards to this?
Yeah, look, it was interesting, first off, when 2 companies don't wanna work together, that
Yeah.
one really wants to take over the other, and Choice Hotel just never had the support
Nope.
of that I'm sure they thought they had at the
Wyndham.
beginning. I'm sure
Yeah.
someone in Wyndham, one of the big stockholders, was telling Choice, like, "Hey, we need you to take over," and then that support waned when the headlines kept coming out and the support got stronger and stronger, and
Mhm.
now Wyndham initiated a stock buyback to control more of their stock. So that just
Yeah.
got announced. So they dropped it. Now they got approved to buy back some of their stocks. So not as many shares are out there. So interesting to see what's going on.
Very interesting to see. Again, I still just, one day, hopefully, they just stop using the language, the hostile takeover.
Hostile. But
So,
I get it. Like, if I was Wyndham, I mean, it's a publicly traded company, and then all of a
right?
sudden somebody wants to buy your company when you didn't want to be for sale, and all
Yeah.
the executives that were going to be worrying about their jobs because that's part of why you would join is you get rid of the fluff,
Mhm.
right?
Ooh, the
So
fluff. We're not calling people fluff.
fluff, but you know what I'm saying. That's what you do. You join up, and then you see the layoffs,
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
yeah, oh, for sure. No, yeah, of course, because they end up merging, so a lot going on with that. So anyway, for those that have been following along, that you can take a sigh of relief, and that will not be happening,
You'll
so
still be able to stay at your choice hotels and your Wyndham hotels.
and not worry about a merge. All right,
I
this
like this one.
I am stoked about this. So Mattel, as for the toy company, as well as Atlantis Paradise Island, unveiled that they are going to be doing a Barbie Bahamas beach vacation experience. Yes, this is the hotel experience that we have been waiting for. And no, I'm not just saying that just because I'm a female. And yes, I played with Barbies, but how awesome off of first of all, I'm surprised it wasn't even done sooner, but off of the success of the coattails of the Barbie movie, I love that Atlantis Paradise Island is going to be doing this. And they've got it's more than just Barbie themes, but I mean, it really is this whole interactive experience. Obviously, you're gonna have rooms. They've got I love this Barbie culinary adventures. I'm like, what's Barbie eating?
A lot of
Uh
edible sparkles. I can see it.
Barbie inspired kid adventures, Barbie movie nights. But what I really cannot wait to see are the guest rooms and the cabanas that they're doing. Because how fun! Like, what a great, fun way to just enhance like what you're offering, and then also playing into the whole pink theme too.
Yeah. Again, gigantic pink hotel, a good backdrop for every picture you're gonna take. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident I would feel ken enough sitting poolside with my sunglasses on, watching all the Barbies roll around.
You're Ken enough. You're
I'm ken
Ken enough
enough.
for this.
And after seeing Ryan Gosling do his thing on the Oscars, which was the best
Totally,
part of the whole show, this is like a
right?
perfect time to announce this because it like brought that spark back to see what
Oh,
was going on.
totally, totally. And the other thing as well, so for those that might be interested, they're gonna basically launch this or debut it over Memorial Day weekend, and they're going to extend it through the summer. So a lot of people are going to be able to participate in this should you want to. But how fun. And
I
for
love
those
that.
that are keeping track, this is actually Barbie's 65th anniversary. So that's
Man,
wild.
amazing. And so what's cool is that it still has this energy going about this movie that
Mhm,
it still continues on going
mhm.
into a year later almost,
Oh,
right? 'Cause this
totally.
came out last summer and it's still going. And here in Miami, they have a smaller version of this that everyone seems to be going to that has family, and they're all taking
Yeah.
pictures in Wynwood, which is usually an artsy kind of adult neighborhood. They set up a Barbie restaurant, and now everyone's going there to take
No
pictures.
way.
Yeah,
Oh my
just
gosh,
opened
wait,
a
have you
couple
been
weeks ago.
yet?
I have not been yet, but I will be going.
Oh
I've
my
seen a
I'm
lot of my friends
really
go.
curious what they're gonna serve at a Barbie restaurant. I
It's
don't
gotta be just like good old Americana food would be my guess, but I will check the
right?
menu and I will report back.
Please report back. Report back because that is actually, I find that very fascinating.
Like,
Um,
I really thought the Willy Wonka movie, if it was any like, I haven't seen it yet, so I can't
oh,
talk about
I
it, but
saw it.
I really thought, like, that would take off, but it wasn't a good movie, so I thought more milkshakes and candy specials and things like that would be going on at
Would be
hotels.
cool. So here was the problem with the Willy Wonka movie, and yes, we are, briefly turning this show
Okay,
into a
Rotten
movie
Tomatoes.
review.
What do we got?
Um, uh, enjoyable, certainly enjoyable, but it was a musical, and none of the new songs were remarkable.
Mm, there you
None
go.
were remarkable. They were fine, they got the job done, but the big chuckles and the big laughs were when they ended up singing the old classics and the old favorites, that was like, "Oh, yes!" That's where that you got, like, the payoff as the viewer, but yeah, it was definitely it was That was, kind of it, and it was also almost a little bit too fantastical. I mean, I get it, it's Willy Wonka, like, nobody's
Yep.
looking for that to be. By the way, I love this. Jeremy, we need a James Bond hotel. Dude, that would be amazing.
It'd be very cool. It would just be very nice, right? Or be adventurous. We
Ooh,
gotta
what are
see, like,
some
some
other
adventures you could
hotels?
go through.
Some
Yeah.
other what are there some other branding? So you remember when they did the Taco Bell hotel, which, by the way,
Yes.
we all know about my random love for Taco Bell, which is not on brand, but it's my guilty pleasure. Um, you're judging me right now. How
No, it
dare
was just
you?
funny because we were talking about that YouTuber, and one of the things he does, he goes to every fast food restaurant and tries to buy the most expensive item they can make, and he goes to Taco Bell, and they happen to win, I think, so it was just in my head from watching this weekend, and we're like, "Let's
That's
go. We'll go
crazy.
order that thing."
What are some other interesting themes that hotels could tie into? I mean, obviously, like anything with the movies, but I love when they do these co-branding with, and we did do this. We did talk about this briefly on an episode
Yep, way
months
back.
ago.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, the bond room exists. Where? Oh,
Oh, he gave us the link.
stop. Okay, we're gonna have to definitely check that out.
There it
That's
is,
so
everybody.
cool.
Check out the link if you're watching, and if you're listening to in your car, you can watch the video to see the link here on the screen.
But it adds something. And by the way, you don't
Thank you,
also.
Rob.
Yes, thank you, Rob. You don't have to do the entire hotel. I'll just do a random shout out to the Sheraton Universal, by Universal Studios in Los Angeles. I actually don't know if they still have this room. I would presume so, but when I did go visit it, they had a Shrek room because
Yep.
they're right across the street from Universal, and they had this great Shrek room. They might have changed it now. Maybe it's Super Mario Brothers, but how fun to just tie in. And ooh, the Cheshire has a lot of themed rooms.
Yeah.
Themed rooms are interesting.
But this is what I think vacation rentals, so our Monday show talks about,
Yeah.
is the short-term rentals and vacation rentals, especially in Orlando. Man, they go all out, and you
Well,
feel like you're going into, like,
as you
into
should.
that universe, like, into a Harry Potter home and
Yeah,
into
yeah.
these kind of places. So, I think, like, when we talk about both industries can learn things from each other, that's
Oh,
something that I wish hotels would do a little bit more because these people spend thousands and thousands of dollars on bedrooms to make them themed so that it's unique and
yeah.
get people to stay there.
Well, and it's like, know your audience. Know your audience, know your destination, but then have fun with it. And know that it might not appeal to everybody, but for those that it will appeal to, they're gonna dig it.
Mhm. I
They're
agree
gonna
with
dig
you.
it. I
I agree
love
with
that.
you. And thanks for sharing, everybody.
Yes, thank you. Okay, we got a couple travel topics here. Love this. Okay, as we all know, we have our good friends over at Forbes, Forbes Travel Guide, and they recently shared this. I believe it was last week. The
Mhm.
4 top luxury travel trends, and they had talked about this at their summit. But we could not do a show and not touch on these luxury travel trends because, again, being in hotels, being in home rentals, but whatever it is, whatever aspect of hospitality, it's cool to see what trends are out there and what makes like what's resonating with you. Like, what are you seeing? I always love to see what people are saying. This is what's happening, and then I'll be
Yep.
like, oh yeah, I see that, or I haven't seen that yet. Whatever it is. So you
Should we go over the top 4 that they
yeah,
said?
over the
So
top
the
4,
top
yeah,
4, we'll say the 4, and then we'll go through some of them. How about
sure.
that? So
Yeah,
the top 4 in no particular order is well-being is here to stay. So well-being travel, a
love
rise in solo travel,
it.
which I can
Mhm,
attest to. I took a solo trip, and I have
mm,
a family, so I took a
wow,
solo trip last year.
good.
Business travel is finally rebounding,
Mhm,
and a demand for smaller city travel. So those are
yeah,
the 4 that they announced there. And look, we just talked about well-being, and they mentioned
mhm,
one of the hotels in my backyard, the Carillon Wellness Resort, which
mhm.
takes it very seriously.
Yeah,
So,
right?
they're not gonna be
They have
they
a
go for
bio
the most
station.
biostation,
Mhm.
and, I'll give a plug to this new client of mine called, Monkey Brass. They are
Oh,
creating ice baths that create their own ice, and they look very luxurious, so they're trying to get into hotels, so it's a new client of mine. I give them a
ooh,
shout out
like
here
like
today.
a self-sustaining ice bath? Sign
Mhm.
me up.
I've
I'm
never
into
used an
it.
ice bath, so they're like,
Wait,
"You
wait,
gotta
you
see."
haven't?
I have not yet. I've
Oh
been
my
in the
god.
cold, cold waters, but not like,
Oh, no, no,
get the
no,
ice
no.
in
You
and
need to
go in.
do it, and you need to document the moment.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if you
And
can
then
tell
you
I'm losing some weight, I'm working out, I'm getting healthy,
yeah,
so let's
you
see.
got and you have to play Ice Ice Baby before you die jump in.
Done deal.
That's like a given. All right. So
Solo travel is another big one.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Wait, can I just say one other thing
Yes.
about the wellness is that longevity seems to be the wellness buzzword. And why I like that is, it's not wellness like as in just a spa or anything like that. Like we're really talking about what can we do for longevity. So there is this theme of biohacking, which we touched on a couple weeks ago. And I thought that was it's taking
Mhm.
it to the next level. Wellness is not just like, oh, we have a spa, we have a fitness
Yeah.
center, but it is really stepping it up a lot.
Yes, I agree with you. I love seeing
Okay.
that too.
Rise in solo travel. Now, this was interesting because what they actually said in this particular article is that loneliness is one of the biggest and fastest growing crises in the world. Which is sad, but also we can totally see it, especially after the pandemic. But more than a quarter of the U.S. households only have one person, which is the highest ever in history. And so
Wow.
people are looking to solo travel as a means to connect with people, which is I get it. I totally get it. 'Cause
Yeah.
I always say because I live alone, and so when I travel, I definitely feel like, "Oh, that's my social time," and then when I come home, I'm like, "Oh, I'm cool. I'm chill." But, yeah, it's definitely social time when I'm on the road for sure.
Would you do a solo cruise? Because now I see cruises are offering like solo rooms. Because usually sometimes they'd be like you have to have two people in a room, or they
Yeah.
charge you a little bit more.
Oh, totally. I mean, and funny because in fact, next month I'm going on a cruise, in essence, solo, as in I don't know anybody. I mean, I'm sure I will bump into people I know when I get on the ship,
Yep.
but I'm going solo. So I mean, it's also like a conference on a cruise ship, so it's a little bit of a different,
All right.
a different setup.
Networking, so but you can still meet people and see things.
Totally. And it's actually kinda cool because when we go to dinner, it's like you just show up to dinner and then they randomly put people together, so every night you're sitting at a table with different people. Not a bad way to just meet other individuals when you're traveling.
I think it's very cool. Are you someone who can go to dinner by themselves and to the movie by themselves?
Ooh, movie? Yes. Dinner? No. I do not like I mean, I've done it before, but it's just that's a good question. Like, that's just
Yeah.
not something that I enjoy doing because it's like, I mean, yeah, no. Or I will do it, but then I'm like, I'm on my phone. I'm like, this is weird. I might as well be in my room. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you see, I got you. So when I was really young, right out of college, I was
Yeah.
always social. I was always around the people. And then
Yeah.
I ended up in a city where I didn't know anybody. And I remember I was like, I'm gonna go to dinner by myself. Like this is weird. And I started to do it.
Did you like it?
I actually like it. Yeah. Not
See,
all the time, but I don't mind. I enjoy it. I have my time. I get to kind of do my thing. I don't have to worry about anybody else, and I'm good.
so 2 things. A, I think it's different if you're a guy versus a female.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, for me, I'm like, "Ugh, who's gonna come up and talk to me? This is gonna be freaking weird." Also, no, it's true though.
Can I
It's
get you a
true. It's like
drink?
sitting at the bar, like, I'm not gonna sit at a bar,
You
like, that
come here
next
often,
to
Sarah?
yeah, yeah, I do. Oh my gosh. Did you try the garlic bread? No. Um, but, the other thing is I like to sample and try a lot of different foods,
Mhm.
but I only have 1 stomach.
Yeah.
So, the sad part about dining by myself is, like, I can't try that many foods because I'm just like, I can't eat that much food. So that's why I like to eat with other people, so you can try all sorts of different things.
All right. So noted. When you dine with Sarah, she's
Yeah,
getting a fork on your
dude,
plate.
we are sharing food, okay? No non-sharers allowed at the table. Um,
Well, talking about not being by yourself,
yeah, yeah,
business travel is blowing up because
which is
part of
great.
my travels at the hotels yesterday, I visited 3 hotels,
Mhm.
all in the downtown Miami area, were packed with conference people wearing their
That's awesome.
tags, lobbies packed,
That's great.
ballrooms emptying. So it is true. And these 3 hotels were booming at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
And that's awesome. I mean, again, it's like these individuals are they're spending more when they're traveling. It's a different. I always said when I worked at the when I was working in hotels, I I enjoy. I mean, you have all sorts of travelers, but I really did enjoy the business travelers just because it's like they knew what they want, and it would just be they were pretty direct,
Yep.
and they understood like the cost of things. Whereas sometimes with leisure travelers, they're like, I don't know, and then it's this, or maybe the stakes are too high, are really really high because it's their vacation, or they're very very like almost just extremely cautious of budget. Totally fine and understandable, but I generally found that business travelers were a little bit easier to work with in
Yeah.
general.
And as an executive, it's way better because you know what to expect. Like, this is how
Mhm.
much business I have on the books. Great. I've got my hotel 50% or 60% full of business. Now I just got to fill it in with these transients versus 3 years ago, where it's like, oh my God, we got to sell all these rooms to
Yeah,
people that are traveling and transient guests. So it's a lot easier to plan, better for staff because they know what to expect. They have
totally.
consistent schedules. Everyone's making consistent money during the busy season. So great on both sides.
And it's not just business travel, but we've talked about this before,
For
bleisure
sure.
travel.
Hmm.
And so to give you an idea, 62% of business travelers say that they're going to be doing more bleisure travel than they did in 2019. And what so basically 42% are adding on personal days to their business trips. And then I love this number, 79% of these travelers are staying at the same hotel for their business and vacation portions of their trip. So if they are already going to be staying at your hotel for the business aspect and they want to stay a couple days for vacation, they will most likely 79% of them are going to stay at the same hotel. I can attest to that for sure. I don't want to necessarily move if I don't have to.
Especially if it's a nice place.
Yeah.
A lot of these
Of course.
conferences are at really nice places with great
Yeah.
amenities and good place
And
to
that
hang out.
and then they're like, "Okay, what" so maybe their work covered the first X number of nights, and then they're like, "I can cover the next 2 nights or 3 nights," however much longer
Yeah.
they end up staying. So pretty
And
smart.
then
I
we can
love that.
touch really quickly
Yes,
on the smaller city growth, and I
absolutely.
can say that's for sure for me now
Yeah.
because there's so many small towns across our country that I've
Mhm.
never been to, and I'm getting more and more interested in seeing these places, especially in Florida. There's like these little towns around these natural springs and nature and things like that that I've just never gone to, and I want to go explore them. What
Yeah.
about you? You go to a lot of cool places.
Oh, I do, and I've got it's so interesting because I go to a lot because I do travel a lot for work, AKA for clients, and a lot of my clients have been smaller destinations within the United States. So they kind of talk about places like Nashville, Tampa. I was in Louisville, Bardstown. I mean, it's not to say that Americans are not going to continue traveling internationally or to Europe,
Mhm.
but a lot of people have done that the past couple of years. People will still continue to flock there. You've got the Olympics this summer. There are many, many reasons to continue traveling to Europe and other parts of the world. But for many Americans, whether they have families or they don't have as much time to take off, they are choosing to explore these smaller destinations within the United States. And hello, America's massive. You could,
Yes.
it will take you forever to explore all of the United States before you would like start to overlap. So I love seeing this trend. I think it's great
Yep.
because there's so much to discover here.
Yeah, and you mentioned this kind of transitioned perfectly into our next story is that I
Yes.
was watching on TikTok this guy who came from England to the United States for the first time, and he's
Yes.
like, "You don't understand how big this country is. Like,
Yes.
there's so much going on, and every state is like a different country."
Totally.
And so I watched his little stories on TikTok, and now that's what people are doing. Travel on TikTok is the top trends, longer videos, and future of booking trips is what people are
Yes.
saying about TikTok. What do
So
you think about that?
oh my god. Well, first of all, I have been harping on the fact that a couple things. So I've been harping on the fact for a very, very long time, and stats have changed over the years, but, uh, like, almost in this, it said something 60% of users and they were talking about specifically in Europe, were going to TikTok to get inspiration on where to go and where to stay. And the stats that I had seen, and I can talk about at least for the United States, it was something like 82%. So
Wow.
82% of travel decisions are based off of what they have seen from social media. So not necessarily just TikTok, but TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Yes, can it be from influencers? Sure, but it can also be from their friends and family based off of where they're posting. So, I mean, look, if you are a property or a destination, you just have to have your stuff out there where your future clients or guests or visitors are hanging out, and they're hanging out on social.
Yes.
So,
And security, don't kick me out, okay?
yeah, 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 dude.
But it's true.
But
That's where I start looking a lot too, is on social media. So before I plan a trip, one of my favorite things to do really is go on to Instagram,
totally.
search it, and then go to places.
Yeah.
Like, because then I can see everyone that tagged that place.
Yes.
And I love seeing the real side of kind of what's going on because you see everything.
Totally.
Sometimes things you don't want to see, but there's a lot of things that makes it see like, all right, I can feel the vibe of this place.
Well, whether it's your For You page or your your homepage, whatever it is, it's curated to you. And I always discover different places. I'm like, oh, I don't know where that. I've never seen that place. That's kind of awesome. Oh, and it's not too far away. Great to know. And so I'm always discovering new destinations that way. But in this particular article and it was a Skift article, some of the key things were talking about how inspiration is a big part of what the travel content is. We know this. Also, different trends as far as food and fitness and fashion. Obviously, food and travel go hand in hand. That goes without saying. But like a lot of foodies are doing these sort of like we'll travel for food pieces of content, but then also, fitness, that's growing as well. People are traveling and they're not necessarily just wanting to go and party at a destination.
Right.
Maybe they're going and they're doing a wellness retreat, and they're not drinking alcohol. We've seen this big trend as well too. More and more people are not drinking alcohol. Hence the reason why restaurants, hotels, whatever, are offering more mocktail options. But it's been neat. Have there been some other things that you've seen on here?
I mean, look, on social, I love seeing I think it's becoming more authentic stuff versus stage
Yes,
stuff.
they
That's what
talked
I'm
about that.
seeing the transition here to less staged, less high, definition and like perfectly executed.
Yep,
So that's what inspired me, and I'm hoping
totally.
that is valuable to somebody else.
Totally, totally. And the final thing from this article that I think is the biggest takeaway, and it's because I actually, if I would have been more of a tech person, this was something that I wanted to create. I just didn't know how to end up doing it and what the APIs and the legality were around it. But how do you shorten the booking path from what people are seeing something online to then ultimately booking a trip? Yes, we see, we've all seen social media where they're like, oh, look at my cute sweatshirt. I got
I
it
know.
from Nordstrom. Super easy. But that's like a $40 purchase. Obviously, it takes a lot more thought to go into a $4,000 purchase. So it looks like, and they said here, they were basically like, watch this space that hopefully at some point, TikTok users might be able to buy basically book travel through their platform. And I'm excited about that because I don't know, will that shake up the whole the
Okay, model. I think so.
yeah, the GDS model, which is archaic and needs to be, I'm sorry, I'm just saying it. It's archaic and it totally needs to be shaken up. Or are they just going to basically build on top of it, which is probably more likely what they'll do. But, one can
I
always
think
dream.
so. But there's a whole group of people out there and people that we've met that are all saying because they have very popular Instagram
Yeah.
destinations that they get most of their bookings through Instagram now.
Yeah.
Like they're getting DM, they
Totally.
send a link and they book. They just want to make it smoother, and that will become another OTA. Like list your stuff on this channel.
Yep. Yep.
Make sure you're out there if you're not.
Totally. So we'll end on this final topic here is that basically the most dangerous TikTok travel hack, because obviously we're talking about people are going to TikTok to get travel inspiration, learn all of that. This is also where it can go wrong. And this is why we have to be a good digital citizen. Somebody basically said, oh, I have a seatbelt hack for when they're flying on a plane, and it's the ankle seatbelt hack. So they're actually still, you know, putting on their seatbelt, but they're not putting it around their waist. They're putting it around their ankle, and they're trying to get other people to do it, which I think is just the most ridiculous thing because it is not safe.
Come on, people.
I
Come
know.
on. We're smarter than this, but there's a lot of dumb people out there. You see it all the time, especially on X now. You see all this crazy
True.
stuff going on.
True.
Don't be
All
dumb.
right. Real-time recap. You ready for that?
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Real time recap. Mine is great because now I get to visit all these
Yeah.
hotels and I'm seeing the
That's
best
all over the
of people. And so I'll give a shout out to this video that came out today to the Intercontinental Hotel in Miami. Everyone
Ooh,
was very nice as I was walking around, just kind of asking questions like, hey, what time does the pool open? Or what time does this happen? And everyone was genuinely nice and they didn't know who I was there and just very nice there. So
I
great,
love
great, great
that.
hotel.
I love that. My real-time recap, I'm giving a shout out to Delta. We all know I'm a Delta fan, but I have to say, like, I don't know what Delta does with their training. I would love to find out, but they're in general, like they're good. And the interactions that I have with people, I mean, I'm I'm impressed all the time. And so I flew out from Los Angeles to Atlanta yesterday, and just one of the flight attendants, I was like, "You're just so nice."
And what was it about them being nice? Is it just they're just very nice to you? Is there anything else about it?
No, it was like the personality. It didn't seem, they didn't seem, ugh, yeah, okay. They didn't seem tired. They seemed genuinely engaged. They weren't annoyed by people's requests because it wasn't just me. I was also paying attention as they were interacting with other people on the flight, and they were just like, "Absolutely, yeah, sure."
That's
But it was
awesome.
coming from a genuine place that they
Mhm.
weren't tired. And that was nice to see because I get it. I mean, it's like it's traveling. It can be tiring, especially if you've done it for however long. So shout out to Delta for just doing it right.
See, I had to ask that question to buy myself some time to figure out if I could add the quote of the week on the screen. Let's see, I could do it.
Ooh. Okay, this was
You gotta
actually
read it.
a quote from my book. Okay, I'm just going through, but it wasn't my quote. This interviewed Robert Marks, who is the chef concierge in San Diego. He's at the Omni, but he was also past president of Lake D'Or, the Gold Keys of Concierge. For those that know, I was part of that. I'm still part of that as an affiliate member, but I love that he said this. He said, "The way that you approach a conflict says a lot about how it's resolved," which is so true. And
Very true.
conflicts or challenges happen when you're at work, but it's how you approach it, and especially when you're dealing with a guest. Sets the
Yep.
tone for everything.
Yeah, because some people take it personally. Don't take it personally.
No.
Yes, there's some people who might be aggressive with you, and if they touch you or spit at you or curse at you, yes,
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
mess with them. But your approach can always be professional. I could only imagine someone going to Sarah and seeing her smile and making sure I'm gonna handle this while she's raging inside. She was gonna have the right approach.
Ooh, I've had people rage at me. That'll be a
I'm
story.
sure.
I've had people. No, nobody threw anything at me, but like I've had people get a little physical, like up in my face, and I'm like, "Can you not be up in my face, please?" That
Yeah, it's happened to me a bunch. I think 'cause I smile like this and it gets them more angry, and I can't stop smiling. And that's just it makes it worse.
you're like, "Sorry."
Yeah,
No, it's tough. It's totally tough, but that is the nature of what we do.
yeah, that's how it goes. But I think that's a great quote and a great place to end our show today.
Yes.
That you and I are producing
Yeah,
on our
you are
own,
mainly producing. Let's be honest.
driving in the background here.
Exactly. I just help with the topics.
Yeah.
But no, this was great. So by the way, thank you all for those that did end up joining us on the live. I know we started a little bit later. But
Or early for some. That's why I think
early for
some of us are
some.
messaging us like it started a little early. Hey, we'll figure it out. We got it for you next one.
Next week we'll be back. It'll be good. Stay tuned. We'll be in our normal places. Well, I will at least. And yeah, it's good.
Yeah. We'll see you next week. And
All
if I
right.
see you out of these hotels, make sure to say hello.
Yeah. Bye guys.
Ah, hold on, guys. I got this button.